Welcome to Business Spotlight, where we share insights, reflections, advice, and pearls of wisdom from local business owners. My name is Ceri James. I'm a business coach and a facilitator. And this morning in the Spotlight, we have founder and MD of Quirky Frog, Lianne Sykes. Great to have you here, Lianne. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's great to be here, and thank you for asking me to come along.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm intrigued to know a little bit about the history of the name Quirky Frog, Lianne, but please give us a little bit of an overview. How long have you been in business and what you specialize in, please?
Yeah, perfect. Well, I've been in business now for, coming up to 15 years in total. Started my entrepreneurial life with my husband, who owns a personal training gym. Fast forward a couple of years, I did all the sales and marketing, and I wanted to find out and discover how you get into the media and how you elevate your position further. So I'm working with a friend of mine in PR, which led me to understanding exactly how I wanted to mold a marketing agency. My friend was going down one path, I wanted to go down another. So naturally, I've set up my own. And at the time, I bumped into a friend of mine who wanted to get into some similar kind of work. And it was upon us meeting and realizing that we had the same values, the same mission, the same goals, that we decided to come together, and thus Quirky Frog was born. The original goal was to work with female business owners from either a coaching side of things or helping with the marketing side, growing and elevating their brand identity across the World Wide Web. And yeah, it's just a natural involvement that came together. And the name, as you said, where it came from was my business partner, Rachel. She was pregnant at the time. And I was saying to her, I just want a quirky name. I don't want blah, blah, blah PR or blah, blah marketing. I don't want it to be, too mundane and too same. Just something that maybe would stick out in somebody's mind. And lo and behold, her pregnancy brain came up with the Quirky Frog. And I was like, love it. Let's do it. It's random. It's good. So yeah, it definitely sticks out. And it's something that people remember.
Definitely memorable. Very good. So you mentioned your target audience and also your mission there. Tell me a little bit more about your mission then, please, Lianne.
Yeah, so over the last 4 years now of us having Quirky Frog, we have become to be specialists in the medical aesthetics industry. So originally I set out to work with female entrepreneurs. One of them was a lady called Ceri Patterson, who owns KP Aesthetics in Hale. And that's a medical aesthetics clinic. And we've taken her business from being a 2-basement room clinic into now, she's moved it 2 years ago into a 7-treatment room, 3-story luxurious clinic just around the corner. So it was over working with Ceri and us, being successful with her and being a breath of fresh air of what she mentioned us by working in the medical aesthetics industry. We've become that specialist. So she's recommended us to people that she knows within the industry, who have then recommended us to others. So over the past 4 years now, we've become now specialists in medical aesthetics. So we predominantly work with females that have had a background in medical. So it could be nurse, dentist, doctor, and they've now chosen to forge a career with their own clinic in medical aesthetics. So specializing in skincare, skin health, injectable treatments, anti-aging treatments, and the technologies that come out these days are just phenomenal with what they can do in the safety of it. So yeah, we really harness our energies in that field.
So just thinking about the sort of channels that might be relevant to that scenario then, Lianne, what sort of channels would you say you specialize in and are particularly expert in?
So in terms of the marketing side of things, it's a bit twofold. So we do the social media element to it. So predominantly our clients come on board initially because they have begun their social media. Like I said, they're from a medical background, they specialize in patient care and looking after that patient. But when it comes to putting posts on Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok these days, it's a world apart from what they're used to. Plus, they're very, very busy. They work back to back from early mornings to late evenings. And as anybody who knows who runs a business, it is never ending. It's relentless. A lot of these women might have families as well, and they've got the children to look after as well. So by us coming on board, we initially start with the social media aspect. And with that aspect is we predominantly focus on Facebook and Instagram to begin with, because that's where their audience are. And then we'll move it into TikTok once they've got either some more confidence to do videos, talking to camera, having that good quality of content that we can put out there, and then evolving it from there. So the main social media channels would be Facebook and Instagram. And then we also look after their newsletters and their blogs. So with their blogs that go onto their website, that helps with the SEO. So we'll do, a couple of blogs a month for some of our clients. And then the newsletters really help them stay connected with their patients, because not everybody checks social media these days. A lot of people, although they want to be on social media, they do tend to have social media detoxes. Then you've got the challenge of the algorithms on your social media channels. So from what you did used to see, you'd go on a certain time of day and you could see those posts that are going out at that time. Now it's more the ones that you're engaging with. So if you haven't happened to engage with one of my clients' accounts for a number of weeks, say, you might miss some really important posts that are going out there with key information on. So we encourage all of our clients to have a really good email follow-up system with people who are coming through the door interested in treatments, as well as the patients that are on their books. And then, of course, like I mentioned, with the website side of things, it's good to have that key shop window for your website to, again, drive your traffic from your social media offline onto your website. You can then capture them on your emailing list. You can give them more information about each treatment, and they can actually go and pinpoint what it is that they're looking for. So as a general consensus, they're the main elements we look after. And then the other package that we offer is the PR package. So in the medical aesthetics industry, to become a leader, you want to make sure that you have got a recognizable voice and a key message that you're putting out there, and showing your expertise, showing your confidence in the information that you're offering to not only your peers, but also to your patients as well. So we will look after quite a few articles and features within trade publications, such as the Aesthetics Journal, Aesthetics Medicine, and the Aesthetic Nursing. So we look after those, and we also look after the consumer press. So it might be a celebrity or a well-known figure has had some kind of aesthetic treatment, and they need an expert to comment on said treatment and know the benefits of it and what the actual treatment does. So we get our team of experts, i.e. our clients who own the clinics. Big one at the moment is all about cryolipolysis, which is fat freezing. So we'll have our clients comment on that who offer that treatment. And they can be then seen as being an expert in the consumer field as well as the trade field. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's the areas that we cover.
So it sounds like integration across all those channels is an important element to it, and quite a challenge. Let's have a little reflection on the digital revolution then. I think there was a bit of a consensus that kind of lockdown moved the digital revolution on 5 years in 5 months type of thing. But how have the changes over the last 2 or 3 years impacted on your industry, would you say, Lianne?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is that the video element to social media in particular has, like you say, it's kickstarted and it's moved on very quickly in a very short period of time. So when we first started, it would all be about just one post and one image that goes out with a caption that people can read. Now, going into lockdown, people wanted that connection. They wanted to feel like they were with somebody when they weren't with somebody, and hence why video really brought our clients into people's homes. So we would do skincare tutorials, skincare techniques, and how you apply things, because that's what you could do during lockdown. That helped people get more known to be more about their personality, and their personality come across a lot better than just an image. But also images are still powerful. So the challenge that you can have is that you might have a client, or we might work with somebody who isn't too confident or comfortable in front of a camera. They can go in front of a patient and speak to them one-to-one, but not everybody has that confidence to speak on camera. Not everybody has that confidence to be able to execute all of their knowledge as soon as a camera is in front of them. But if you just put them on a one-to-one setting with no cameras around, gosh, the things that come out of them, your jaw drops because of the fountain of knowledge that they do have. So the challenge is really getting that out of them, and encourage them to do things bit by bit, step by step, small bite-sized pieces, so that we can encourage a video form. One of the great ways that we've got around that is, if you're not confident in front of a camera, then don't worry, because we can create the video, i.e. we can show a treatment being done on the video side of things. And you have the voiceovers now that can easily be done with just one click of the button on an Instagram. There's several different video editing apps that you can have on your phone. Again, easily just add a voiceover. So you can just voice over and talk us through what's happening in this treatment. Another way of doing it is just talking to your phone, nobody's even looking at it, about a certain topic. And what we can then do is strip that audio, overlay it with some graphic images, and then that comes and brings the video together. So there have been challenges in that sense, but there's always ways in which we can help overcome them to the greater good, so that we can do a really good job for our clients, and then we're getting the best out of them and not taking them too far away out of their comfort zone, so that they freeze and don't perform as well and get too stressed about things that they don't necessarily need to get stressed about. That's our job. They need to focus on their patient safety and delivering amazing results.
Okay, so moving from technical challenges to business challenges in terms of where Quirky Frog is today and what your challenges are in relation to your team and your growth, etc. What would be top of mind in relation to where you are today and your challenges, Lianne?
I suppose a challenge is the natural evolvement of increasing prices. So when we first started, we were considerably lower in cost than what we are today. But I have to kind of measure the time that myself and my team have for each client that we're working with, and what is being done and executed in that time. But we used to have a limit of our team running 5 social media accounts, and that would be the absolute maximum. We don't start them with 5, we just start them with 1, and then we add 1 on every single time, and we build up that foundation so that they can get everything done correctly. But now it's going more of they can only be looking after maybe 3 clients at a time, because of the amount of work that's going into each client with the videography. Doing the video, it can take 4, 5, even 6 times, sometimes 10 times as long as just putting up a static post. I mean, this morning alone, I was doing a video. It took me 90 minutes just to edit a video together, and it's a 1-minute video. And this is because of the level of execution that you need to do to kind of stand out from the crowd and make it more eye-catching. You know, so many things go on social media on a day-to-day basis. We have to make sure ours stands out. We have to make sure ours is popping, that it's interesting, that the viewer's going to watch it, because the goal is to get more eyes on our social media platforms. The goal is to get more eyes on our clients. The goal is to educate the audience so that they feel that they can trust our clients and come forward and want to have the treatments with them. So I like to focus not only on engagement on social media, but the ROI. So the lead generation is coming in. So I think we do things slightly different and more integrated in the business. We work with 1 clinic in each area so that we don't compete with anybody else, and we get really, really invested with them, and we treat it like it's our own business. So I think for a challenge that we always have is for somebody who's maybe had a social media agency before, who's just done fluffy things, I call it, just putting a post out, not really too much thought in the caption, nothing much goes into it. They're gonna think that we're gonna do exactly the same, or they look at it and think, oh, that looks really easy. It's just a 10-second video, it's a 30-second video, it's 1 post, it's a couple of words on a caption. They're not, I suppose, understanding a lot of the time of the amount of effort and the skill set and the training and the time that goes into just that 1 post to make it stand out from the crowd. So it's that challenge of everybody wants to keep the cost down. In the medical aesthetics, they're spending a lot on consumables and a lot of the skincare, the things that they need in clinic to perform the treatments. The machines cost ridiculous amounts of money. So I understand that for them to grow their business, they're already investing a lot in those consumables. And it's having that understanding and that education process so that I can explain to them, we do things differently. This is how we do it. And these are our fees, and that's the absolute minimum, and that's what we start with. So I've done it gradually, I've done it step by step, and I feel like I've overcome that challenge because of the work that we do, the quality product that we do at the end of it, and the service that we deliver. And I have a very strict onboarding process as well. So I have a start off with a discovery call. On that call, I'll decide whether we're going to be a good fit to work together. And I can understand what their struggles are, what they are struggling with the most, whether it's time to do the posts, whether it's no desire to do it at all, or whether it's somewhere in the middle. And then I work with them on what it is that they need. So some clients we have to do more of than others. Some clients meet us a little bit more in the middle because they're more confident to produce the quality of the content. After we've done the discovery call, we then go through the proposal, and I iron out exactly what it is that we're going to do and the service that they're going to get from us. After that point, and they decide to go ahead, we then do a strategy call. So on that strategy call, I get them to complete 3 separate questionnaires, I get them to do a new client questionnaire, which goes into their business, what it is that they're about right now, what their goals are, what they struggle with on social media, what they want to get out of social media. I also go through their tone of voice. So how they want to present themselves. Are they going to be super duper professional, really medical and clinical led, or are they happy to be a bit more conversational, which works a lot better on social media, or are they somewhere in the middle? So we find out those key messages. We then tie all of that together with their press questionnaire, and that press questionnaire goes through who they are, their background, their history, what brought them to this point. And we pick out key stories that we can convey on social media, again, to bring that personality across and for people to let them in and know exactly who they are. And good marketing is about storytelling, right? So we bring all of that together and we do a complete strategy before we even begin to take over the account. So it can be a 4-week onboarding process to get those foundations right. And a lot of work goes in at the beginning to make sure that we execute it in the right way. So we generally say over that 4-week period, we do that. And we generally do that before they even pay a penny, just to show them the level of service that they're going to get from us. And then they can understand, right, yeah, these guys know what they're doing. I can see what's going to happen, what's going to come across. And yeah, I'm happy to go ahead. And then they understand the value of the service that we do.
Okay, so the value equation is somewhat different to a lot of others in your competition, if you like. Okay, and so what about moving on to the future? What about the aspirations? Where do you see Quirky Frog going in the next 3 to 5 years?
So yeah, I've got quite big aspirations. We're recruiting again at the minute, so we're a team of 5 at the moment. We're recruiting at the moment. I'm going to be looking at taking on 2 in the next couple of months, and already I've got clients lined up for new team members to be taken on. Some of our clients that we're working with as well, they're at the stage now where they're going to be upgrading their services. So the team that look after their accounts are going to have to offlay some of their other clients so that they've got more capacity to work with. So yeah, we are really wanting to take over the marketing of the medical aesthetics industry and become a key leader in our own right within there. So I can see us growing and probably even doubling where we are team wise from now to next year. We'll probably take on 2 more before the end of the year is out. So that'll be a total of 4 new staff this year, along with the 3 that we've already got. And then myself and Rachel heading it up. So yeah, I think every year we've doubled where we've at. And yeah, this year is, I suppose this is kind of like the scary one where you know that you're on that tip of just rocketing, but you've got to make sure that everything is staying compact and linear and in the right approach so that things don't fall off too heavily.
Very good. So yeah, Quirky Frog is jumping along nicely. That's great. So next question, Lianne, relates to what you think you've learned as a business owner. So if you were giving a new business owner, or even yourself, looking back to when you started the business, if you were to give yourself some advice based on what you've learned now, what might be the top 2 or 3 tips?
I would say one of the biggest, I suppose the hardest thing is recruitment and getting the recruitment right. Don't recruit when you are on the verge of having a breakdown and you can't cope with the workload. Recruit early and make sure that help comes in, even if it's just a small piece of help. Outsource things that you can outsource with, because if you don't recruit right, then that can kind of set yourself up for not failure in a sense, but doing things not in the way that you would intend them to be done, and that can have a negative impact on what you want to offer as a service. You might recruit and not get the right person who isn't in it for the long game, or isn't in it for the right reasons, or doesn't really necessarily want to do this as a career and aren't as passionate as what you are. And these are some of the experiences that I've had. And you want to recruit so that you are working together as a team. And I think, skill sets can be taught if somebody's got the right attitude, and it's definitely attitude over experience any day of the week, because everybody needs to gain experience somewhere. So if you've got the right attitude, then I always feel that you can succeed. And if you're passionate about what it is that you're doing. So yeah, I would definitely go back to my younger self and let them know about the recruitment process, because that's one thing that I've never really been taught. People have just naturally come to me, and I've recruited on, no experience really. So yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the things.
And just a specific on the area of marketing, because clearly that's your area of expertise. Many business owners have quite a few fears about marketing. Will it work? Won't it work? Will I get my return on investment? What sort of advice and thoughts would you give there to business owners who are somewhat concerned or uncomfortable with this whole area of marketing? Is it going to work, and how to best do it, and what should I invest in? What would you say to people with some of those concerns?
So I would say, before you do anything with marketing, you've got to understand who your niche is, who your audience is. You'll probably hear the word avatar. So you have to really mold that person. Quite often, you need to look inward and have a look at who you are as a person. And naturally, that probably would be your target audience or your ideal client. So if you have that in mind and have that person in mind and who they are, what they like, what they dislike, as far as, where do they go for dinner? Where do they go on holiday? What music do they like? This encompasses everything that you're doing, because you're going to be using visual elements that are going to be attractive to that client. You're also going to be using music and experiences and vibes and tastes and sensory elements through your marketing that your ideal client likes. And if they respond well to that, then they're going to kind of trust you a lot more with it. So rule number one, before you do any marketing, is really dig deep and get your niche down on who your person is. What are they struggling with right now? What solutions do you have to offer? And what you want to do is go back, I mentioned it before, it's all about storytelling. So you want to try and refrain from just putting out an offer or just saying this, I've got this treatment or this service or this product and it's X amount. Before you get to that stage, build up that story, talk about the struggles that they have, focus on the benefits of the products or the services that you offer and you deliver, and how those two marry together. And then from there, then you can put your offer out there. So think of it as a stepping stone and a bit of a 3-step process as opposed to one. People tend to struggle or fail at marketing because they don't understand the concept of that storytelling. They don't understand the concept that people don't want to be sold to. They want to be educated. They want to be inspired. So that's what you've got to focus on from there. If you get that right, then you have a look at what you're putting out there and what is being responded well to by your target audience. So if you're getting clients through the door who are your ideal client and you love working with these people, then you know what you're doing is right. If you're getting the wrong type of client in, who, they might have price objections, they might have they might have treatment objections where they're like, oh, I don't want that, I want this. But then you, as your experience, is saying, well, no, you don't need lip filler. What you need to do is look at your skin texture and actually start with your skincare journey. If that patient is going to respond well to that advice and start with their skincare and then look at the treatments later on, that's what you want to be looking at. On the flip reverse of it, you might just want clients that are coming in just solely for dermal filler treatments. So really niche down and have a think about what it is that you want to offer and what you want to give. And then when it comes to your marketing, you need to have a marketing budget. So you work that in with, of course, your revenue and what you're bringing in, but make sure there's an element of there for your marketing. Now, your percentage of that, it can completely differ. It depends on how well you are as an organic marketer. If you need to do paid ads, are you a natural storyteller? Do you have a lot of patient satisfaction who are going out and, recommending you, and you've got a lot of word of mouth? Like what we have, we don't necessarily have a marketing budget in a sense, because we've got a lot of that coming back to us. Marketing agency that doesn't really have to market themselves. I always think it's quite ironic. But again, if you're doing a good service, then you're going to get recommendations and people are just going to find out who you are and hunt you down because they want what it is that you offer. So it's a case of have that marketing budget, understand who your audience are, and really talk to them. And when you're ready, don't be afraid to outsource your marketing, especially if you don't feel confident and comfortable in doing it yourself, because you can't be a specialist in everything. So that's one of the things that you can start outsourcing.
Yeah, that's an interesting area, isn't it? That difference between wants and needs, and how you maybe challenge people in certain circumstances that maybe what they say they want isn't actually what they need. So an interesting area. Well, it's been fascinating. Thanks so much for sharing your story, Lianne. One last question. You mentioned a discovery call. If there's somebody watching a business spotlight that is in your target audience, maybe wants to have a follow-up conversation, what might be a sensible next step?
So yeah, if you want to know more, if you're a medical aesthetics clinic owner and you want to know how you can take your business to the next level and increase your brand identity, get more word of mouth, increase your organic marketing through the powers of social media or newsletters, emails, websites, etc. You can get in touch with me. We can have a discovery call. I'll find out exactly where you're at right now as a business, what your goals are in business, what it is that you need support and help with, and I can give you some really good action steps of what you can be doing right now to take your business to the next level. Whether you've got, whether you're happy to do it yourself, whether you maybe have somebody in-house doing your social media, or clinic manager who has a bit of that skill set who can help, or ultimately if it's something that you do want to outsource, then we can see whether we would be a good fit to work together and take it from there.
Very good. Lianne, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time and your input, and all the very best with Quirky Frog.
Thank you so much.